Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maureen, and on this channel we film lifestyle and finance videos so you can live a fruitful and abundant life. Before we get started, please like, comment, and subscribe to let me know that you like these videos and to also let the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoyed the video as well. So I created this new segment called Finances and Chronic Illness, and today I will be talking about 5 things I have learned about finances when you are disabled. Alright guys, this is super interesting. I recently learned these statistics and I'm not very surprised. It actually makes sense to me, but here we go. So according to the CDC, chronic disease is the cause of 70% of deaths in the US. In addition, chronic health problems account for 90% of the total of $3.3 trillion spent annually in our country on medical care. Unbelievable, but I believe it. So based off of the statistics, you can tell that having a chronic illness is just expensive, especially if you do not have insurance. Or if you have insurance but you constantly have to pay a copay for doctor's appointments, for hospital stays, and for medication. But here are the 5 things that I've learned about chronic illness when it comes to finances. Okay, so number 1, money and chronic illness is hard to manage. I know firsthand, okay? Do you get? Okay. I have sickle cell disease, if you guys don't already know, and let me tell you right here, it is a very challenging chronic illness to have. If you do not know what sickle cell disease is, basically, sickle cell disease is a chronic blood cell disorder that causes you a lot of complications when it comes to your health. And because of sickle cell disease, I have a lot of other conditions related to sickle cell disease. So for example, I have asthma, and I have a vascular necrosis in my knees and shoulders, which kind of caused me chronic pain all the time. But those are basically the impact of having sickle cell disease on my body. Money and chronic illness is very hard to manage, especially if you're a person who is constantly ill or is in the hospital. Chronic illness can be persistent and long lasting, so maybe you actually cannot keep down a job or work for very long periods of time. So how are you going to get money if you can't keep a job, right? It's very difficult. And then also having to manage your symptoms. I remember when I had my first job at Chipotle, which I got fired from because I had a chronic illness. It's true. It's not supposed to happen, but it's true. But I constantly had to micromanage my symptoms and my chronic illness at work, and it was super stressful. I always had to take bathroom breaks because I had to drink a lot and lots of water. I constantly had to take rest breaks because I had to sit down. My knees would hurt, my back would hurt, my shoulders would hurt, everything would just be hurting, my feet would hurt. So I needed constant rest, and there are times where this is illegal, but you just wouldn't get a break at work. Honestly, you're supposed to, but sometimes you don't. And I remember I was the one who didn't get breaks all the time. It's just the truth. So yes, money and chronic illness is super hard to manage. Imagine a regular person who doesn't have a chronic illness and they already have a hard time managing their money. They get paid this week, next week the money is gone, right? When you have a chronic illness, you cannot move like them. You have to be smart about your money, and you have to be more innovative about how you spend and save your money. So the second thing that I learned about finances when you are disabled is you basically have to move differently with money when you have a chronic illness. It's simply the truth. When you have a chronic illness, you must move different than everybody else. You cannot go buy that Kate Spade bag or that Michael Kors bag. You cannot just go buy a new iPhone. The newest one just came out and everybody's rushing to go buy it, and you're sitting there in a corner, as you should, because anything can happen. You can go to the emergency room or have an incident, and now you can't go to work. So now you missed out on 1 to 2 weeks worth of pay. If you would have went and bought that Kate Spade, or went and bought that Michael Kors, or went and bought that new iPhone, you wouldn't have any money to support yourself while you were on leave from work. It's simply that simple. There were a lot of times where I was hospitalized while working, and it was pretty tough. If you didn't have any sick leave where you could put in your sick leave hours and basically get paid for being at home, if you do not have any vacation hours, you basically did not get paid. There were times where I was in the hospital and I was just struggling with my persistent chronic illness, and I just didn't get paid. So imagine if you are a family person. For example, you're a grown woman, you have a husband, children, a family, and you simply missed 2 weeks of work because you were ill, you have a persistent illness, you have a disease that is critical, and you don't have any sick leave, you don't have any vacation days, and now you don't have any money to take care of your family. So when you have a chronic illness, you must move differently than everyone else in the population, okay? The third thing that I learned about finances when you are disabled is that you have a disadvantage when it comes to money when you are disabled. You have a huge disadvantage. Huge. So for example, imagine if you are eligible for SSI or SSDI, which is basically disability. You cannot have any other assets when you are on disability. That is a huge disadvantage. How are you going to live out your days if you are fully retired, if you do not have any other help from family members, if your husband's passed away? You know, these are disadvantages. Not being able to have any other source of income above a certain level can be a disadvantage when it comes to having a chronic illness, because we have medical bills, and I have a couple of them. From last May, like 2021, I was hospitalized, and basically my insurance did not cover the state that I was in. So I live in Maryland, and the ambulance took me to Virginia. There were no other hospitals available for me to go to because they were full of COVID patients and they didn't have any beds for me. So unknowingly, the ambulance took me to Virginia, and I kid you not, I was not able to advocate for myself because I did not know where we were going. So I couldn't say, hey, my insurance doesn't cover this hospital. First of all, it's not something you know in the beginning. It takes until the medical bill shows up for them to tell you, we do not cover your hospital, we do not cover this doctor, we do not cover this procedure. And it's actually a shame. It is a damn shame, okay? So yes, when it comes to money, we are at a huge disadvantage when you are disabled, because you constantly have to use your own coins to fund your medical expenses when you should always have insurance. And insurance in this country is not the best. It's not. Because right now I'm still dealing with 3 medical bills from the hospital stay I had last year, and I'm drowning. I'm drowning in bills, okay? I'm drowning. Number 4 is that the system is against us when it comes to disabled people. And it's true. Like I said, SSDI, you can have income above a certain amount. You can have extra assets. If you have 1 house, you can have 2 houses. If you have 1 car, you can have 2 cars. Another example is the medical system and the insurance system and the pharmacology system. It is all against us. A doctor will give you 1 medication, and then the insurance will be like, you know what, this is a generic brand. Can she not take the generic brand because it's less than the actual brand you prescribed her? Does it matter? I just need my medication. Does it matter? Or when it comes to insurance, your doctor says, hey, she needs her gallbladder removed because of this, that, and the third. And the insurance will go, does she really need it though? I know she's sick, but does she really need it though? That happened to me. When I was about 14 years old, I continuously have persistent pain on my side, and it took a very long time for the doctors to know, hey, your gallbladder needs to come out, you have gallstones because of your sickle cell disease, let's do it. You think they did it that day? No, because they needed approval from my insurance. This society is a scam. It's a scam. Although this society is a scam, the insurance is a scam, the health system is a scam, the financial system that is supposed to help support someone who is disabled is a scam. No matter what, you will push through because I pushed through. I did it, so you can do it as well, okay? It is hard. You have to constantly be under a lot of stress, which can also flare up your chronic illness even worse. Like, your chronic illness can progressively get even worse due to stress. I know mine does. When I'm stressed, I get a lot of chronic pain. I get a pain crises, and I'm going to the hospital for weeks on end and having to get blood transfusions and IVs. So stress is a big no-no, but when it comes to this world, there is no way that you can eliminate stress from your life. But one thing I know that I did when I got fired from Chipotle was I was really at a low point, and I was like, God, you put me here on this earth. You put me here with these people in this corrupt system. All I ask is that you support me. You gave me sickle cell disease, you gave me asthma, you gave me avascular necrosis, a lot of, like, it's a whole mouthful, okay? I said, God, I need you to support me. I need you to provide for me. I need you to just be there for me because, Lord, I need it. Unknowingly, in that point of time, of course, God was always providing for me, but now I kind of need him to provide for me even more, okay? Because I was desperate. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching my video on what I've learned about finances when you are disabled. You know, it's a scam out here, right? Before you leave, please comment, like, and subscribe, letting the YouTube algorithm know that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one, okay? Oh yeah, everybody carry us something. He say, darling, I'm watching you. Small thing, you don't move. You come